Chosen one, there is a message coming through right now, and it is not gentle, it is not soft, it is a declaration. Archangel Michael himself has stepped forward. He does not wait for an invitation, he does not knock, he pushes through because what he carries cannot wait another moment. Something is happening in the spiritual realm as you hear these words. A confirmation is being sealed. A truth you have carried alone in the dark is about to be validated by the highest authority. Everything you suspected, everything you questioned yourself about, everything they made you feel crazy for believing, it was real, it was true, it was accurate. This is not a coincidence that you are here right now. This is not random. This is a divine appointment. Archangel Michael crouches beside you in the darkness, holding a torch so bright it could blind your enemies. And he whispers with the force of 1,000 storms, "Take this, do not lose it." Then say it with your chest. Speak louder for everyone in the back. Your season of silence is over. The first thing you need to understand is that this confirmation is not new information. This is not Archangel Michael teaching you something you did not already know. This is him looking you directly in the eyes and saying, "I see what you saw, I know what you knew, and you were right." Feel that land in your spirit for a moment. Let it settle into the places where doubt has lived rent-free for too long. Because somewhere along the way, someone worked very hard to convince you that your perception was flawed. They needed you to believe that your intuition was broken. They required your silence to continue their games. But here is what they did not count on. Heaven keeps receipts. The divine sees in the dark, and now the light is coming. Not because you demanded justice, although you have every right to. The light is coming because the universe protects its chosen ones. And you, beloved, have been chosen for something far greater than the small cage they tried to build around your voice. There is a reason this message finds you at this exact moment. Nothing in the spiritual realm operates on accident. The timing of your awakening has been calculated by forces far wiser than any human strategist. They thought they had more time. They assumed you would stay confused a little longer. They banked on your self-doubt, keeping you paralyzed for another season. They miscalculated. Picture this scene clearly. A darkened room. The enemies lurk around corners. Danger presses in from every side, and there, crouched low beside you, is the Archangel of Protection himself. He holds a glowing torch with a handle, not just any light, but your light, the light of your truth, the light of your knowing, the light of everything you witnessed and everything you survived. He passes it to you with urgency, not because you are weak. He passes it to you because you are ready. The torch was always yours. It was forged in the fires of your experience, shaped by every tear you cried alone, tempered by every moment you questioned your own sanity when their gaslighting hit its peak. Now he hands it back and says, "Go. Go and shine this light where it needs to be shone. I will hold them off. I will be your shield. But you must carry this forward. This is not a request. This is a commission." The image of Michael crouched beside you carries profound significance. He is not standing over you like a commander, issuing orders from a safe distance. He is down in the trenches with you, eye level, shoulder to shoulder. This is not distant protection. This is intimate warfare. He knows the exact terrain of your battle, because he has been walking it beside you, even when you felt completely alone. Let us talk about what happened to you, because we cannot move forward until we acknowledge the battlefield you have already survived. There was a relationship. Maybe it is happening right now. Maybe it is in the rearview mirror. But either way, it left marks on your soul that you are still discovering. This person came into your life wearing a mask, so convincing that even your sharp intuition needed time to detect the cracks. They knew exactly how to speak. They understood what you needed to hear. And for a while, you believed you had found something real, something safe, something that would finally honor the depth of love you have always been capable of giving. But underneath the performance, something else was happening. Control disguised itself as care. Possession wore the costume of passion. Power plays hid behind romantic gestures. And ego, enormous and insatiable ego, demanded that you shrink yourself to make room for their endless need to dominate. The gaslighting was surgical. When you noticed something off, they redirected. When you asked questions, they made you feel paranoid. When your gut screamed that something was wrong, they smiled and called you crazy. They did this so well and so consistently that you started to doubt the one thing that has never failed you, your own knowing. But even in the thick of the confusion, something in you never fully surrendered. A small flame refused to go out. A quiet voice kept whispering what your conscious mind was afraid to accept. That voice was right. That flame is about to become a wildfire. Think about how exhausting it has been, carrying truth that no one else could see, holding evidence that everyone else dismissed, walking around with a knowing in your bones while the people around you acted like everything was normal. That isolation was intentional. They designed it that way. A confused chosen one is a controllable chosen one. A doubting chosen one loses access to their power. An isolated chosen one has no witnesses to validate their experience. Every element of your confusion was manufactured by someone who understood exactly what they were doing. But here is what they never anticipated. The chosen one remembers. The chosen one recovers. The chosen one rises. And when they do, heaven itself stands beside them to ensure the truth finally surfaces. Here is what you need to understand about why they worked so hard to silence you. Their entire operation depends on your silence. Every lie they told, every betrayal they committed, every shadow they moved in, all of it only works if you never speak. When you know the truth and stay quiet, they win. When you hold evidence of their deception and swallow it down, they remain untouchable. Your silence is not peaceful for you. Your silence is profitable for them. They counted on shame keeping you small. They weaponized your own sense of dignity against you. Because speaking out feels messy. It feels dramatic. It opens you up to judgment and scrutiny. And they knew that a person of your caliber would naturally want to take the high road and move on gracefully. But here is the revelation Archangel Michael brings. Sometimes the high road runs directly through the truth. Sometimes grace demands that lies be exposed. Sometimes the most dignified thing you can do is refuse to let darkness hide behind your good manners. The high road has been misrepresented to you. Somewhere you learned that spiritual maturity means silent suffering, that evolved people do not make waves, that the enlightened response is always forgiveness and moving on. But Michael carries a sword for a reason. There are times when protection requires action. There are moments when silence becomes complicity. There are situations where the most loving thing you can do is expose what operates in darkness. Say it with your chest. Speak louder for everyone in the back. Now let us discuss the third party, because this situation is more layered than you initially realized. There is someone else in this web, someone who participated in the deception, someone who knowingly crossed lines that should never have been crossed. This person is afraid right now. They feel your energy shifting. They sense that you are waking up to the full scope of what happened, and they know that if you speak, their carefully constructed image will crumble. So they plot, they scheme, they plan their approach. Maybe they will come to you directly, wrapped in false apologies and manufactured vulnerability. Maybe they will send a messenger, an older figure perhaps, someone maternal, who will plead on their behalf and ask you to keep things quiet for everyone's sake. Do not be deceived by the packaging. The request is the same no matter how it arrives. Stay silent. Protect their reputation. Sacrifice your truth on the altar of their comfort. But look at what Archangel Michael revealed. Look at the energy surrounding this third party. They are not coming from remorse. They are coming from fear of exposure. There is a difference between someone who is genuinely sorry and someone who is simply sorry they might get caught. Genuine remorse looks like accountability. It looks like confession without being cornered. It looks like making amends before being forced to. What you are dealing with is not remorse. What you are dealing with is reputation management. They are not sorry for what they did. They are terrified of what happens when others find out. Their sleepless nights are not spent in repentance. Their sleepless nights are spent stalking your social media, watching, lurking, comparing, studying your happiness like it is evidence in a trial they are losing. This person treated their connection to your ex as a dirty little secret, a down-low situation they could maintain while keeping their public image pristine. They were never the main character in that story. They were the side piece who somehow convinced themselves they were winning. And now they see you, moving forward, healing, shining, and it drives them absolutely mad. Here is something fascinating about their obsession with monitoring you. Every time they check your social media, they are confessing their own insecurity. Every lurking session reveals how much power you hold in their psyche. They cannot look away because deep down they know you were the real one. They know what they participated in was counterfeit. And watching you thrive while they hide in shadows confirms every fear they have about their own choices. Let them watch. For now, let them see you rising before you close the curtain on their access. Let the last thing they witness be your unbothered ascent before you remove their ability to spectate. There is an attack being planned. Let us not pretend otherwise. The spiritual realm is showing this clearly. Someone is strategizing how to take you offline, how to dim your light, how to knock you off the path you are walking with such grace and power. This attack could come in many forms. It might be rumors designed to damage your reputation. It might be accusations meant to put you on the defensive. It might be technological, someone trying to compromise your digital presence or privacy. The methods vary, but the intention is the same. Silence the chosen one before they can speak. Here is why Archangel Michael stepped forward with such urgency. He did not just come to deliver a message. He came to be your shield, because he knows what is being assembled in the shadows. He sees the plans being made in rooms you will never enter, and he is here to tell you that you are covered. But his protection works best when you do your part, and your part is not to hide. Your part is to heal the wounds that make you vulnerable. Understanding the mechanics of spiritual protection will serve you well right now. Michael does not protect by removing all threats. He protects by empowering you to be untouchable. There is a difference. One creates dependency, the other creates sovereignty. Heaven wants you sovereign. Heaven wants you standing on your own power with divine backup, not cowering behind divine shields while remaining weak. This is why the work is still yours to do. The healing, the speaking, the rising. Michael amplifies what you bring to the table. He multiplies your efforts. He magnifies your protection, but he does not replace your own participation in your deliverance. Listen carefully. This is ancient wisdom being revealed. When negative energy is sent toward you, it seeks a matching frequency to land. Think of it like a key looking for a lock. If you carry an unhealed wound that vibrates at the same frequency as the attack, connection happens, the hit lands, the damage is done. But when you heal that wound, you change the lock. The key no longer fits. The attack arrives and finds nothing to grip. It becomes a near miss, a glancing blow. Sometimes it misses entirely. This is why Archangel Michael is urging you to look at something heart-based. There is a wound there, connected to this person and this situation, that needs your attention. Not because you are weak or broken, because you are strategic. Healing this wound is not just self-care, it is warfare. Every moment you spend processing what happened to you, you are fortifying your defenses. Every conversation you have with a trusted friend or professional, you are raising your vibration above the frequency of the attack being planned. Every time you choose clarity over confusion, you are making yourself untouchable. The wound they left was not accidental, it was strategic. They knew exactly where to cut because they studied you first. They learned your vulnerabilities through intimacy. They mapped your insecurities through conversations you thought were safe. Then they used that map to hurt you precisely where it would do maximum damage. But here is the reversal heaven is offering. The same wound they used to harm you becomes your greatest strength when healed. The places they exploited become the places of your deepest wisdom. What they meant for destruction becomes the foundation of your discernment going forward. They want that wound to stay raw. They need it bleeding and unexamined, because as long as it hurts, they have access. As long as it remains in shadow, it connects you to their shadow. Bring it into the light, not to relive the pain, to release it, to transform it, to alchemize what they did into something they can never use against you again. Healing is not forgetting. Healing is not pretending it did not happen. Healing is not excusing their behavior or minimizing the impact. True healing is full acknowledgement of what occurred, combined with a conscious decision to no longer let it control your present or future. You can remember everything clearly and still be completely free. Now here is the shift that is happening as you receive this message. Something has changed in you. Maybe it happened gradually, maybe it hit all at once, but you woke up different recently. The tolerance is gone. The patience for games has evaporated. The part of you that once made excuses for their behavior has gone silent. In its place stands something new, something quiet but unshakable, something that finally sees clearly what was hidden before. This was not love. It was control. It was not passion. It was possession. It was not partnership. It was a power play driven by ego so fragile it required your diminishment to feel big. The illusion has cracked. Real eyes now see real lies, and there is no going back to the fog once you have breathed clear air. This shift is not a reaction to pain. This shift is an evolution. You are becoming the version of yourself that cannot be manipulated, cannot be gaslit, cannot be convinced that what you saw and felt and knew was somehow imaginary. That version of you needs no external validation to trust their own perception. That version of you speaks truth without apology. That version of you has the silent strength of someone who has walked through fire and emerged not bitter but refined. Welcome to who you have always been underneath the layers of doubt they wrapped around you. Notice how different this energy feels compared to even a few weeks ago. There was a time when thinking about this situation sent you spiraling. There was a time when memories of their words could destabilize your entire day. There was a time when you wondered if you would ever feel solid ground beneath your feet again. Look at you now, still standing, still thinking clearly, still capable of receiving divine messages and processing truth. The storm they created was supposed to destroy you. Instead, it revealed what you are actually made of. There is a practical element to this protection that cannot be ignored. Archangel Michael is spiritual armor, yes, but he also works through your own wise actions. Lock down your digital presence. Make your social media private, not because you are hiding, because you are strategically denying reconnaissance to people who wish you harm. They have been watching, lurking, studying your movements and your happiness with obsessive focus. When you remove their access, you remove their power. They can no longer compare. They can no longer track your healing. They can no longer use what they see to craft more targeted attacks. This is not paranoia. This is discernment in action. There is someone in this situation who operates like a con artist. They case their targets before they strike. They study vulnerabilities. They look for entry points. Your open social media has been their window. Close it. Board it up. Let them wonder what you are doing instead of watching every step you take. Consider removing old photographs as well. Images carry energy. Pictures from times when you were connected to this person maintain threads between you. You do not need to delete your memories, but you might consider removing public access to moments that no longer represent who you are becoming. Every image of you smiling beside someone who betrayed you is an energy imprint they can tap into. Every photograph of happiness that was actually hollow gives them a false sense of continued connection. Clearing these is not about erasing your past. It is about curating what energy remains accessible. Additionally, protect your devices. This might sound mundane in a message from an archangel, but Michael operates in the practical as much as the mystical. Strengthen your passwords. Be cautious of suspicious links. Guard your digital self with the same intensity you would guard your physical home. The enemy uses all available tools, so should you. There is a hacking energy around this situation that should not be ignored. Someone is looking for ways to access what should be private. Whether they succeed depends largely on how seriously you take these warnings. Michael did not come with spiritual protection alone. He came with practical wisdom, because true protection operates on every level simultaneously. Now we come to the question that has been building since this message began. What exactly are you supposed to say? What truth is so important that Archangel Michael himself came to commission its release? Only you know the specifics. Only you carry the details of what you witnessed and what was done in the shadows. But the energy around this is not small. This is not just a personal story of heartbreak. This is something with wider implications. When you speak, others will be affected. When you shine your light on what happened, the illumination will reach corners you cannot even see from where you stand. There is a whistleblower quality to this commission. Your truth has the potential to warn others, to validate others who experienced similar treatment, to expose patterns that have damaged more lives than just your own. There are people right now, at this very moment, who are trapped in the same confusion you once experienced. They are questioning their own perception. They are being told they are crazy. They are wondering if what they sense is real. Your voice could be the confirmation they desperately need. When you speak, you do not speak for yourself alone. You speak for everyone who was silenced. You speak for those who did not survive the manipulation with their sanity intact. You speak for future targets who might be spared because your warning reached them in time. This is why they want you quiet so desperately. This is why the third party is planning and scheming and losing sleep. Because your voice is not just your voice, it is an alarm, it is a beacon, it is a warning flare that could redirect others away from the same trap you fell into. Does this feel heavy? It should. Speaking truth that has consequences is never light work, but you were not chosen for easy assignments. You were chosen because you have the strength to carry this torch without being consumed by its fire. The weight of this commission is also its honor. Not everyone is trusted with truth that matters this much. Not everyone is strong enough to bear the temporary discomfort of exposure. The fact that you are being asked means heaven has already assessed your capacity and found you sufficient. Say it with your chest. The time for whispers and hints has passed. The time for vague references and careful implications is over. What needs to be said clearly, loudly, with the full force of your conviction. This does not mean reckless or vengeful. This means honest and unafraid. There is a difference between speaking truth for liberation and speaking truth for revenge. One builds, one destroys indiscriminately. Archangel Michael did not give you a torch to burn everything down. He gave you a torch to illuminate what has been hidden. Once the light shines, people can make their own choices about what they see. You do not need to convince anyone. You only need to stop protecting lies that never protected you. Check your own heart before you speak. Ask yourself honestly whether your motivation is freedom or punishment. If freedom, proceed. If punishment, pause. The energy behind your words matters as much as the words themselves. Truth delivered from a clean heart lands differently than truth hurled from a wounded one. You have done enough inner work to know the difference. Trust yourself to discern the right timing and the right tone. Michael would not have commissioned you if you were not ready to carry this responsibly. Let us address the fear that still whispers at the edges of this commission. What if you speak and no one believes you? What if they twist your words? What if you become the villain in the story they tell others? Here is the truth Archangel Michael wants you to hold. You are not responsible for other people's perception. You are only responsible for your own integrity. Speak what is true. Let the truth do its own work. Your job is not to manage how people receive it. Some will believe, some will doubt. Some will pretend not to see because seeing would inconvenience their own comfortable arrangements. None of that changes what actually happened, and here is the part that might surprise you. Many already sense the truth. Many have had their own moments of questioning, their own flickers of intuition about this person and this situation. When you speak, you will not be introducing a new idea. You will be confirming what others already suspected but were afraid to voice. Your courage gives permission. Your voice gives validation. Your truth creates a domino effect that extends far beyond what you can measure. The people who matter will recognize the truth when they hear it. Something will resonate in their spirit. Something will click into place. They will remember small moments that did not make sense before, but suddenly form a clear pattern when your piece of the puzzle is added. Those who choose not to believe were never going to be your allies anyway. Their disbelief reveals their own investment in maintaining illusions. Let them have their denial. It costs you nothing once you have released what you came to release. There is a particular kind of strength that comes from speaking truth without needing unanimous agreement. It is the strength of someone who answers to their own conscience and to heaven, not to the court of public opinion. That strength is being forged in you right now. As we move toward the completion of this message, let us return to where we began, to that darkened room where Archangel Michael crouched beside you, to that urgent handoff of the glowing torch, to those words that now echo with new depth and meaning. Take this and do not lose it. The torch is your truth. The light is your knowing. What happened to you, what you witnessed, what you survived, all of it forged this flame. It belongs to you. It cannot be taken, but it can be neglected. It can be hidden. It can be dimmed by your own reluctance to let it shine. Do not lose it means do not let doubt extinguish what you know. Do not let their gaslighting retroactively succeed. Do not let time and distance convince you that maybe it was not as bad as you remember. It was. Trust yourself. The torch also represents something that transfers forward. Fire spreads. Light illuminates beyond its source. When you carry your truth forward, others will light their own torches from your flame. The liberation you model becomes permission for others to pursue their own. Say it with your chest. Speak louder for everyone in the back. This is not about volume. This is about conviction. Speaking with your chest means speaking from a place of grounded certainty, not hysteria, not revenge, not performance. Just truth delivered with the calm confidence of someone who knows exactly what they know and no longer needs external validation to trust it. The people in the back are not just metaphorical. They are the ones furthest from the situation who need to hear. They are future targets who deserve a warning. They are allies who would support you if they only knew. They are the parts of yourself that are still healing, that still need to hear you speak your own defense out loud. Every time you voice your truth, you reinforce it within yourself. Every time you refuse to minimize what happened, you honor your own experience. Every time you speak clearly instead of mumbling qualifications and apologies, you step more fully into the power that was always yours. Notice how your body responds when you imagine speaking clearly and confidently about what happened. Does your chest expand or contract? Does your throat open or tighten? These physical responses reveal where the work still remains, but they also show you the pathway forward. The tension in your throat is not a warning to stay silent. It is stored truth waiting for release. The pressure in your heart is not damage beyond repair. It is energy compressed and ready to transform. What feels like fear might actually be anticipation. What feels like resistance might actually be the moment right before breakthrough. Archangel Michael came forward because what is ahead requires divine backup. There are forces aligned against you, not because you have done something wrong, but because you are about to do something right. The exposure you carry threatens entire structures of deception that have operated unchecked for too long. But here is the promise that seals this entire message. You are protected. not partially, not conditionally, fully and completely covered by angelic protection that does not waver. Michael is not watching from a distance. He is crouched right beside you, shield in hand, ready to deflect what comes while you do the work only you can do. His protection does not depend on your perfection. It depends on your willingness to walk forward in truth. Every attack they plan will hit different. Now, every scheme they construct will fail to find the grip they expected, because you are healing, because you are awake, because you carry a light they cannot extinguish, no matter how desperately they try. The protection extends beyond this immediate situation. Once you walk through this doorway of truth-telling, you emerge into a new level of existence. The version of you on the other side of this commission carries permanent upgrades, sharper discernment, stronger boundaries, deeper trust in your own knowing. These are not temporary gifts. These are permanent installations that will serve you for the rest of your journey. Heaven does not just protect you from external threats. Heaven protects you from ever being this vulnerable again. The lessons embedded in this experience become part of your spiritual immune system. What happened once will not happen twice. Not because you will hide, because you will recognize the patterns before they can take root. The confirmation is complete. What you knew, you were right about. What you suspected, you had reason to suspect. What you felt accurately. The gaslighting did not work. The manipulation did not succeed in rewriting your memory. Your perception was and is sound. Sit in that confirmation for as long as you need to. Some of you have waited years to hear these words validated. Some of you have spent countless nights wondering if you were the crazy one. Some of you have carried secret knowing that had nowhere to land because everyone around you seemed convinced by the performance. Landing has arrived. Your knowing has been witnessed. Heaven itself has confirmed what you carried alone in the dark. Now rise. Not eventually. Now, not when you feel ready. Now, not after you have processed every emotion perfectly. Now, rising does not mean having everything figured out. Rising means taking the next step, even when the full path remains unclear. Rising means choosing forward motion over comfortable stagnation. Rising means trusting that the ground will appear beneath your feet as you walk. Take the torch, let it illuminate what has been hidden. Speak with the voice they tried to silence. Move with the confidence of someone who knows they are divinely protected. The season of silence is over. The season of power has begun. What you carry in your throat chakra, that tension you may feel right now, is not anxiety. It is truth waiting to be released. What you feel in your heart space is not weakness. It is love that refused to let darkness have the final word. Now let me put you onto something real. Destiny Engine. I built this because I was done watching chosen ones get dragged through betrayal, isolation and attacks while their enemies strutted around unchecked. I want to help you accelerate the speed of your divine justice and step fully into your purpose. And the beauty of it, you don't even have to lift a finger. Destiny Engine takes their downfall and flips it into your rise. This isn't another meditation app. It's declassified consciousness technology, the same mind programming tools your enemies once used to install fear, competition and scarcity, re-engineered to restore your sovereignty and align you with the cooperative upgraded operating framework. It generates personalized sequences mapped to your divine purpose. The hardest thing you'll do is put on headphones, press play, and watch your enemies keep digging their own grave. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your Destiny Engine for $1 today and turn everything they did to break you into fuel for your rise. Link in the description. They wanted you hopeless. They wanted you to breast. They wanted you to lose yourself entirely in the chaos they created. Instead, look at you, still standing, still clear, still carrying a light so bright it makes them lose sleep. Look at how far you have come already. Remember who you were in the depths of the confusion. Remember the version of yourself who could barely get through a day without second-guessing everything. That version fought hard to deliver you to this moment. Honor their struggle by stepping fully into what they made possible. The distance between who you were and who you are becoming is evidence of your resilience. Not everyone survives what you survived. Not everyone maintains clarity through that level of manipulation. The fact that you are here, receiving this message, understanding this message, ready to act on this message, proves something about your fundamental nature that no gaslighting could ever erase. This is confirmation. This is validation. This is heaven itself, declaring through the mightiest of its warriors that your knowing was accurate from the beginning. Now take what you know, do not lose it, and say it with your chest loud enough for everyone in the back to hear. Your silence was survival. Your voice is victory. The same quiet strength that kept you alive through the storm now powers your emergence from it. The same intuition they tried to destroy now guides your steps forward. The same heart they broke now beats with renewed purpose and protection. Everything they used against you becomes fuel for what comes next. Every manipulation attempt becomes a lesson in discernment. Every lie exposed becomes a brick in the foundation of your new wisdom. Every betrayal revealed becomes a boundary permanently installed. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was meaningless. Even the darkest moments served the purpose of preparing you for this exact commission. You learned what you needed to learn. You saw what you needed to see. Now you speak what you need to speak. Archangel Michael remains beside you, not just for this moment, for the journey ahead. Not just as protection, as partnership. The connection established through this commission does not expire when you finish receiving this message. You can call on this presence whenever the path feels uncertain. But you will find that you need external support less and less. Not because heaven withdraws, because you become more and more capable of standing in your own power. The training wheels come off naturally. The shield becomes internalized. The sword becomes your own discernment, wielded with precision. This is what they feared most. Not just that you would survive, that you would become untouchable, that you would emerge from their manipulation stronger than before, that their intended victim would become a sovereign being they can never reach again. Go, walk forward into everything that awaits you, speak what needs to be spoken, shine where light is needed, trust what you know, honor what you survived, become who you were always meant to be. The chosen one awakens. The torch is lifted. The truth prepares to illuminate. Everything changes now.